Hi, I'm Adam Bingaman. I'm one of the transplant surgeons here at Methodist Specialty and Transplant Hospital in San Antonio. And I'm really pleased to have been invited to speak at this wonderful donor awareness event. I was one of the team members that got Pastor Dave a kidney transplant back in December of 2008, and am so pleased to see how well he's doing today. In fact, his donor was a member of the congregation, and that's makes it even more of a wonderful gift, I think, for him to have received. You know, there's more than 100,000 people in the United States now waiting for an organ transplant of some type. About 88,000 people on the kidney transplant waiting list alone. In fact, Pastor Dave was fortunate to just be on dialysis for about a year or so before he received his transplant from a living donor. The average person waits now on the waiting list for a kidney 4 to 6 years and sometimes longer. There's a real need out there for folks to donate an organ, and there's many ways that one can give. I recommend talking to folks about end-of-life decisions. After all, there are only 16,000 kidney transplants every year from deceased donors. And with 88,000 people on the list, you can see that that need just isn't met. There are about 6,000 kidney transplants done every year from living donors, like Pastor Dave was able to receive. That number could increase if more folks had more awareness about donation and transplantation. In fact, our center here at Methodist is going to do now more than 120 live donor kidney transplants this year. What I'm saying here is that transplantation as a field has really advanced, but we're short of donors. Sadly, about 5,000 people in the United States every year are evaluated at a transplant center, hoping to receive the gift of life, on a heart waiting list, on a kidney waiting list, a liver waiting list, a lung waiting list. But for those 5,000 folks every year, the call never comes, and they die waiting for the call that doesn't come. So there really is a need out there for people to understand that there are folks out there that need to receive the gift of life that only people like you can give. So I encourage you to talk to your family members, talk to your friends, talk to your neighbors, talk to the person next to you this morning about what it means to give the gift of life. Think about end-of-life decisions and how you may want your situation handled. Learn about the possibility of living kidney donation. The average person that receives a kidney transplant lives 10 years longer than the average person waiting for a transplant on dialysis. Of course, folks with heart failure or with lung failure or liver failure, there's no replacement type of dialysis for those folks, and so without an organ, those folks sadly die. So visit the booths today, visit with me in the gym, visit with the wonderful transplant professionals that have joined us here this morning, learn about transplantation, and consider giving the gift of life. Thanks again for having me.